Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng has rubbished a report that said a lack of major expansionary reforms and lower oil prices would hurt Malaysia's fiscal position. This comes after Nomura Global Research said that the country's 2018 fiscal deficit would deteriorate to 3.9% of GDP versus the official forecast of 3.4%. The Japanese investment bank said it saw poor earnings growth prospects and downgraded Malaysian shares to underweight from neutral. Malaysia was the only country Nomura downgraded out of 5 key Southeast Asian economies. Lim disagrees. He believes the country is well within its 3.7% fiscal deficit target and that Putrajaya has done much in terms of reform. He also points out that Malaysia has reduced its dependence on oil revenue, with petroleum accounting for 20% of government income this year, compared with 41% a decade ago. Lim also dismissed concerns of rising political risks raised by Nomura. He says Malaysia is politically stable and that any change in leadership, as agreed beforehand, would be carried out in an orderly fashion. Morgan Stanley has downgraded 3 lenders, Maybank, CIMB Group and Public Bank, amid a challenging outlook for the sector this year. According to a Bloomberg report, Morgan Stanley downgraded Maybank to equal weight from overweight, signalling the stock is no longer seen outperforming its industry. It lowered its target price to 9 ringgit 70 from 10 ringgit 30. Other forecasts range from 8 ringgit 70 to 11 ringgit 70. Maybank closed lower at 9 ringgit 45, down 0.2%. Morgan Stanley also revised its recommendation for CIMB to underweight from equal weight, indicating expectations of lower returns versus the industry average. The Bloomberg report did not indicate a cut to the 5 ringgit 70 target price for CIMB, which falls somewhere in the lower end of the forecast range of 5 ringgit 40 to 7 ringgit 75. CIMB ended trading today unchanged at 5 ringgit 65. Morgan Stanley also downgraded Public Bank to underweight from equal weight and cut its target price for Malaysia's third largest lender by assets to 21 ringgit 80 from 21 ringgit 90. Other forecasts range from 19 ringgit 80 to 29 ringgit 10. Public Bank ended the day 0.49% higher at 24 ringgit 80 cent. Putrajaya will propose an amendment to the MACC Act 2009 that will enable the anti-graft agency to identify the real beneficial owners of companies during the course of their investigations. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad says the plan is to include a new provision dealing with proxies. Mahathir told the press that many individuals are using nominees, making it difficult to verify a firm's ultimate beneficial owners, hence a proposal to compel businesses to reveal their true owners. The PM says this was one of the matters decided upon during today's meeting of the Cabinet Select Committee on Anti-Corruption. According to Mahathir, the committee members presented 7 papers, which include improving the governance of GLCs and enhancing the government's procurement system. The Select Committee is chaired by the PM. It was set up after the 14th general elections. Starting this year, Putrajaya will minimise off-budget provisions. PM Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad says such provisions, which was the practice of the previous administration, had contributed to the country's financial scandals, such as 1MDB. In addition, he says the government has also found that certain ministries have large off-budget provisions, even larger than the original allocation of the actual budget. Mahathir says his administration will now put in place conditions and a ceiling for off-budget provisions. The government will also be implementing a pre-budget statement and a mid-year review for all operating and development expenditures to improve the country's budget management. This would ensure transparency on national debts and liabilities. Currently, the country's debt amounts to 1.087 trillion ringgit. MIDF and Al Rajhi Banking and Investment Corp will start talks on a proposed merger with the Saudi bank's local arm after getting the green light from Bank Negara. MIDF said today that it has received a letter from the central bank stating that BNM has no objections for MIDF and its sole shareholder PNB to start the negotiations with Al Rajhi. It said the talks must be completed within 3 months from the date of the letter from BNM. This doesn't imply that a final merger agreement will be reached or that BNM has approved the merger. MIDF will still have to obtain prior approval from BNM and all regulatory authorities in Malaysia and Saudi Arabia. MIDF said further announcements on the proposed merger will be made at the appropriate time as negotiations progress. In the meantime, business will continue as usual.